What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of I'll Call You Right Back podcast with me, your host. My name is Chad Medved. This is my show. Welcome to the show. Please, if you have not yet, take a second to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast. It only takes a couple minutes of your time. It's free, completely free. But then again, time is the most valuable thing in the world. So I'm asking for something that's priceless. I'm asking for a couple minutes of your time for a rating, a review, and a tap of a subscribe button. So not too much to ask for a free podcast each week. But I appreciate it. Thank you in advance for anyone that takes the time to do that. And thank you for everyone who has already done that. Like I said, big help for me. But I usually talk about all the great things that Turner Dairy Farms does and has coming up. But this week we have a special episode. I sit down with Steve Turner of Turner Dairy Farms. Me and Steve had an episode some time back, and I finally was able to get him back in here. And we sit down for it was a good conversation, couple hours. And we talk about all kinds of stuff. We talk about the dairy industry. We talk about, pretty much how Turner's had to adapt in the last year, some of the scary things that happened, some of the big deals that they had to try to, the big problems that they had to try to figure out. And we talk about all the good stuff too, of course. We talk about the Oak Monarch collaboration. We talk about, all their limited edition milks that, have been killing it the last couple years. But it's a good episode. Steve's a great guy. I love sitting down and talking with him. And, if you think about it, I kind of went over the timeline since our last conversation, kind of so we could touch on all the cool things that happened. And as I was writing everything down, I was like, damn, so much cool stuff happened over that time. Like Dave Portnoy gave Turner's Tea a epic quotable review on Minio's One Bite video, 9.2, no big deal. It's good fucking iced tea, quoted Dave Portnoy. But you got that in there. You got the Ocean Spray, skateboard video that I kind of made up and did with some Turners. You can check that out on my Instagram at I'll Call You Right Back. But again, a lot of cool stuff, and I'm proud to be able to say that I'm sponsored by Turner's. I love the brand. I grew up on the brand, it's almost like it's surreal. It's like something that I had with me all the time in high school. You stop at a gas station, you grab a Turner's and a bag of peach rings. What else could you want in the world? And now I do this podcast, and they want to put their name behind it, and that it makes me feel good. And I appreciate everyone that's taken the time to listen to it. I'm glad that you guys enjoy what I do. One thing I did want to tell you, though, I am going to try to cut down the intros. I know that sometimes I make them too long, and my wife yelled at me. My wife was like, you need to start trimming the fat. And I vow, I'm making a bunch of changes this year, so I'm going to try to trim out some of that fat because, look, everyone here knows that I could talk. I got the gift of gab. I talk forever and to a fault. But I'm working on it. You know what I mean? We got the studio coming up. I got a new setup now. Steve was the first person to be able to use it. Everyone got their own headphones. And, I feel more official. I got some paint swatches on the wall currently. I'm about to be painting this weekend. And then we're going to start ramping up on this thing. I got some merchandise in the works. So I'm pretty excited for the near future. So without further ado, episode 156 of I'll Call You Right Back podcast with Steve Turner of Turner Dairy Farms.
I gotta use the telephone.
Hello?
Telephone.
I'll call you right back. Call you right back.
Telephone.
I'll Call You Right Back podcast. Okay, yeah. This is the first time everyone's going to be able to have headphones and stuff like that. So I bought this thing and I'm excited to get into it a little bit. So everyone, to kind of, fine tune the mics because I have a little bit more control over this.
Yeah.
I want you to just read any part of this if you could.
Oh man, I got a script.
Yeah, script. This is a new segment.
All right.
But just
anywhere.
Yeah, just anywhere you want on there.
Hey now, you're an all-star. Get your game on. Go play. Hey now, you're a rock star. Get the show on. Get paid.
There you go.
All that glitters is gold. Only shooting stars break the mold.
We're good to go right there. We're all set up. You could hear
It's a
good.
free show with it.
The free show with it. Volume good on your headphones?
Yeah, legit.
It's legit, right? I'm pumped about it. It's overwhelming to try to, I bought this and then I came home and, I'm just watching YouTube and trying to figure out how to do all the stuff on there. But I appreciate you taking the long trip to drive out here. I know it was
no big deal at all.
It's a hike. I feel I almost feel bad to asking people to come out here now because I moved away from being right around the city. So it's been I don't know if I should feel
bad
for having people come out here.
Yeah, just ask them, and people have the option to say no, right?
Yeah, right. This is
without traffic, it's really not bad at all.
I've been telling everyone this is my Rogan compound. He moved to Texas. This is my version of it. But all right, so I do an opening segment with everyone. It's called "What's in the Cup." So what's in your cup?
Brand new chocolate caramel milk. First day it's available right here.
I haven't been able to find this yet. I went to 2 different places. I usually have a couple of go-tos in Washington, so I'm excited to try this. So I'm cracking this.
Yeah, it seems like everybody kind of knows their spot where to get it now. It's a little bit less of a scavenger hunt. But the normal places usually have it.
This is it's definitely more caramely. It's good though. I like it. It has a coffee type kind of.
Yeah, it does almost have some coffee notes to it.
Coffee notes a little bit. That's what I was saying. I want to be able to just put a dash in the coffee. I usually drink black coffee.
Yeah.
Are you a coffee drinker?
A little bit. Since we started making that coffee, I drink it a little bit, but I've never really. I don't know. When I was in college, I tried coffee just about every way you could have it.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Just never got hooked to it.
Never bit you.
Yeah.
Are you someone that likes drinking beer?
A little bit. Yeah.
Not anything crazy. Are you an IPA person?
Nah.
See, that's a whole different realm of it all, and that's kind of the same vein. I'm kind of an IPA person before coffee now. You know, I try to.
And from what I've heard, they have a pretty similar taste to them IPAs and coffee. They have if you like one, you tend to like the other.
Yeah.
My brother, he drinks a lot of different beers and is real into it. And when I was younger, I used to try to be like him and drink the IPAs, and then I realized probably a couple years later I wasn't tough enough to drink IPAs. I'm nah.
Some of them are 10%.
Yeah.
You're just you drink one of them and you're rocked.
Right. That and the bitterness too. I'm I don't know. I like something easy drinking.
A little easy, a little Miller Lite, something like that. But I'm excited to be able to do this. So the first time we were on here together was June 13th of 2019.
Wow.
And that was episode 74.
That was ages ago.
Ages ago. It's over a year ago. Almost 2 years. But so episode 74 was the original episode that we did talking all about Turners and kind of the process. We kind of delved a little bit deeper into the process of how the milk is made and how that happens, all the tea and how that's working. But I got all kinds of other shit to talk about. I put them questions.
And you get some good ones back.
I got some questions back, and I'm excited to talk about that. But I got a kind of a timeline of what all happened since you came on last time because. Wow. I was listening back to our episode, and I was this is a good one because it's we're learning about it, learn about the history, we learn about the process of the milk and everything. So it's kind of the more the inside baseball stuff. But so after our first episode, we did a big giveaway. Okay, and that was I want to do another giveaway. I got a T-shirt that you sent me before,
right,
and we're going to do a giveaway whenever the episode drops. But I mean, that thing was crazy. Went nuts. That's the biggest thing that's the biggest giveaway that I've ever done.
Dude, the orange T-shirts, man, they're magic.
It's crazy. 600 comments. I looked back on there.
Yeah.
It was 600 comments and like 300 likes, and that was like that was when we were on episode 70. So like I was just kind of getting in the drift of everything, but. I mean, people love the orange T-shirts, and over the last year, you guys have leveled up the merchandise, 3,000%.
Oh yeah, it's been a big thing over the last year for sure.
Where's the idea come from with that? Because before you did all this merchandise, you had the original, the Turner's T-shirt, TEA shirt,
yeah,
and that wasn't like accessible to everyone, right?
Yeah, so until about a year ago, we didn't sell any merchandise, shirts, hats, whatever. We didn't sell anything like that. So kind of, I'll take you way back to the high school years.
Yeah.
So me and my cousin, always, when we were in high school working in summers and whatnot, we always joked about, like with our dads, that we should go open a retail shop somewhere and just like sell shirts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And naturally, being high schoolers, like, it was probably a pretty bad idea at that point. So, I mean, it's always been something I've been thinking about in different ways we can do it. And then Top Hat, who built our website, probably almost 2 years ago now that they built our website.
Yeah.
And they do, I don't know, how do I describe this?
Creative content and marketing. They're just a creative.
Yeah, they're a creative brand agency
in
Pittsburgh. But they also do what I think they call like a vertically integrated online merchandise shop. So like they build the site. They actually manage all the merchandise for us.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So they design it. They manage all the inventory, things like that. And it's, for somebody like us, it's really turnkey because we don't have the manpower to actually fulfill all these orders ourselves.
Yeah.
Like we would need at least a whole nother person to do it. And we don't sell that much merchandise that it would be worthwhile to do that.
Yeah.
But with this kind of model, it allows us to be able to do it. It's really cool. It's been a great partnership for sure.
Now, you said in high school, that's whenever you were thinking about, kind of like upping the merchandise. Now, before, back then, was it just the orange T-shirts?
Yeah. So we always have the orange T-shirts that we give out to our employees, and we always do probably a few different hats throughout the year, just for different like giveaway things.
But that's pretty much it, though, right?
Yeah.
Now, I remember seeing years ago the pins that you guys put out. They were like a limited run of pins.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that merchandise, and I was like, holy shit, like that's cool to see because, I only saw the Turner's T-shirts, growing up, and I'd never seen other T-shirts. I mean, I never seen like other T-shirts or hats or anything like that. So I was curious if like back then, if there was any other sort of, things. Where does the orange come from? I can't remember if we talked about that or not.
The actual color?
Yeah, why is Turner's color orange?
So that's just what the packaging has always kind of been. So you'll see like in kind of some small pockets across the country, there's actually other iced teas that look pretty similar to ours.
Yeah.
So probably like, what did we start making our tea? Almost 50 years ago. So that the company who sold you the tea, they also like threw in like a package design with it that you could just like slap your logo on.
Ah.
So there's actually like lots of people like us across the country that did that.
Yeah.
Now ours has been, I mean, at least in this area, the most popular and is probably the biggest around for what I call like the dairy teas.
Yeah.
So there's one in, I think it's like Eastern PA. It's called Gears, or I don't know how to say it.
Oh, I think I know.
Probably just butchered it.
That's all right, but I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's like that's almost like a default template though.
Yeah. So back then, 50 years ago, it was just what people used. And since things were like super regional and local
Yeah.
back then, that like it didn't matter if it looked similar. But
Yeah.
now, obviously, as things expand, there's it would be more of an issue now. But
Yeah. Now, have you guys ever thought about like changing that?
no, definitely not. At this point, it's so iconic in Pittsburgh that it's so recognizable that it wouldn't be worth changing.
Absolutely. I would feel the same way. Like I feel like it would be weird almost to like see that. But now that you say that, I do remember, like the default packaging. Like I remember there was like a brown one. Not necessarily. I don't remember if it was Turner's. I don't even know if they make the brand anymore, but it was like whenever I was like very, very young, it was like a regular brown packaging that I can't remember. It's almost like the Mandela effect now. Yeah. I don't know if it's real or not, but I was curious about the orange, and I was curious about like the whole merch movement because, all the merchandise that you guys came out with kind of like, hit the world by storm, I feel.
Yeah.
Cause like you started posting all this and I was like, geez, like, that's awesome.
It was one of those things where, we've never really done it before.
Yeah.
So like the first time you do it, it's huge.
Yeah.
And working with those guys at Top Hat, they're so good. They turn things around fast. They're watching a lot of trends, seeing what's going on out there. This might be a secret I'm not supposed to tell, but they also do the same thing for Iron City. Iron City, Icy Light.
Yeah, if you go on their website, it shows like all them brands on there, and it's like they definitely have like
probably not a secret. But.
Yeah, I don't think so at all. I think that I think their whole like model of how they like come up with packages is super like like you said, like beneficial for a company. So like, what's the process of you coming up with designs? Like, are you just like hey guys, give me a handful of designs, we'll pick through, or do you like throw them some ideas?
Kind of goes both ways. I would say they throw me like I'll call it a catalog of ideas for like a fall or summer release kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then for the most part, like I'll approve most of them. But then I'll also throw them some ideas that I've been thinking about, and just some different ideas that people have thrown at me.
Now, I feel like that it's been going pretty well with the merchandise. The hat, mine's beat on now. The first brown one that you put out got stains all over it. But I remember seeing someone at Chick-fil-A in Century 3 walk out with the hat on. Nice. And I was wearing it too. And I was like, like it's just like wild to like, catch the eye and all that stuff. Anytime I wear that hat, people think I work for Turner's. They say, you drive a truck for Turner's. That's propane guy asked me that.
That's funny. That's one of the things about like, we've never really sold merch.
Yeah.
So like anytime you have something Turner's on, like even now people ask me, like, obviously I do work at Turner's, but like even that sweater that we did.
Yeah,
like
the Christmas sweater.
They're like, do you work at Turner's? I'm like, yeah. Just because I'm wearing this doesn't necessarily mean I do. There was one time we were driving past just some golf course near where we live, and like you could see a few of the holes from the road. Yeah. And we could actually see somebody wearing one of those sweaters while they were golfing.
No way. Awesome. Oh my God. I would have pulled right over and just been like, hey, we got to take a selfie real quick. So you came out with this like merchandise movement, and it's like, now did that happen before or after COVID? Before, right? Or right whenever it happened?
Probably like right after.
Yeah.
So we launched the site they started working on things like last May, and then the first round of merch went out in June or July.
Okay. Yeah. Now for you guys to be a dairy, you're obviously an essential business. What was the world like for you guys to navigate around this COVID stuff? Cause that's been such like a main vein of like conversation with all these podcasts, because, no one expected this. This is such a new, weird, bizarre world. Right.
It impacted everybody.
Yeah.
And it impacted everybody in different ways. And so, actually almost a year ago to the day that we're recording this is when everything shut down.
Yeah.
And overall, it looked like the year was going to be like catastrophic, but it ended up a lot better than we expected. It wasn't great. There were lots of programs that USDA was doing with food boxes, a lot of school feeding programs that helped out a lot, helped us to be able to use up all the milk that we had and keep people employed. So we were fortunate we didn't have to lay anybody off. We didn't force our farmers to dump milk or anything like that. So
how many employees are there?
Just over 200, like 203.
And you didn't have to lay anyone off?
No.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Now you were talking about the school programs. That's one of the questions that were submitted. It's like, how did you guys get involved in schools? Because the kid, I know him, he graduated with my brother. So he was 6 years older than me, went to McKeesport, and we talked about that the first time. McKeesport is a big consumer of Turner's products, but he said, I've been drinking this stuff since 5th grade. I want to know how they got into schools.
Like, so the school program specifically with USDA or just like serving schools?
No, like how did you guys get into schools? Because even in Elizabeth Forward, like we carried Turner's there. I know obviously Penn Hills, you guys are in Penn Hills, but my wife went to Plum, and everyone, I've been asking people that's been on the podcast, like, did you drink Turner's in high school? Because it was a thing that was around with everyone. Yeah. How did you guys kind of corner that market?
So one of my great-grandfather, one of his big focuses was always on, he said, like feeding the children. So whether that's like in hospitals, like taking care of them there, or taking care of them in schools, that was really a big focus of his, something he was really proud of. So we've always just had a really good attention to the taste of the product, quality, and that's something that's really important for schools.
Yeah,
sure.
It's
just something that's grown. I think we have like 100 school districts now.
Really?
Throughout Western PA. We serve the vast majority of school districts.
That is crazy. 100 of them.
Yeah.
That's insane. That's cool though. It's cool to like, kind of, be that like pillar, everyone, I don't know, it's so stereotypical. It's like, I barely ever drink milk. I had a guy from Yoli's restaurant the other day, and he was like, I was going to ask you for milk for what's in the cup. And I was like, white milk? And he was like, yeah, white Turner's milk. And I was like, I don't even know the last time I had just like a white milk. Yeah. Do you drink white milk?
I don't personally, no. I drink chocolate milk is kind of my go-to.
That's what I mean. It's like we're adults now. So, if I'm drinking milk, I'm going to have a chocolate milk.
Yeah. You'd probably be surprised how many people drink milk still.
It's crazy.
I think it's like 95% of households consume milk every year.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, that's wild to think about that. I don't know the last time I just had a glass of white milk, but he was like, oh yeah, I drink white milk all the time. Just a big cup of white milk. And I'm just like, that's crazy.
Dude, that fish sandwich. Holy cow.
That, 100% for anyone that's listening, Yoli's Cucina that was the best fish sandwich I've ever had.
It was huge.
It was unreal big. And it's like, usually people will do things like that almost as like a gimmick where it's like, oh, we have the big fish sandwich. It could only be that. It'll only have to be, somewhat good.
Big is the gimmick, and that's what gets people in.
Honestly, though, the fish was unreal. I even tried it before. I even just tried the fish before I had the sandwich, just because I kind of wanted the full extent of it. But it was insane. And he's doing good work up there. He was a fun interview for sure.
Yeah.
For you guys to navigate through this pandemic, was it pretty much business as usual? Was there any sort of like fluctuation of your day to day?
Oh, huge fluctuations. Yeah, it was
like how?
So at the beginning, it was like every day we didn't really know what was going to happen. So in addition to school business, which obviously got shut off overnight, like literally a Friday afternoon.
Oh, I didn't think about that. The governor
announced that the schools were shut for starting Monday, and we had already had all this product made, right?
Oh, wow.
And then in addition to that, all the restaurants got shut down, and we serve most of the food service distributors and restaurants in the area. So that got shut down overnight. So overnight in the weekend, we had an entire cooler full of product that we had no idea what we were going to do with.
Like, how much is that? How much product is that?
It's a good question. Hundreds of thousands of half pints.
Oh my God.
Like hundreds of thousands.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So you had that, and that's all scheduled to go to certain places that like week, like that's all queued up and ready to go there, and then shit is shut down. So, do you guys still have to deliver it to them, or is it just, what happened?
There was nobody to deliver it to. That was the problem.
I get it, but do they, obviously people like will have accounts and stuff like that, but it's like, do they just say like, we're closed, like we can't take any of this?
Yeah. So if we kind of our rule of thumb was like, if we hadn't delivered it, we weren't going to make you take it. Which shutting down on a Friday afternoon, we had already made all of our Friday deliveries.
Yeah.
But then, so anything that would have gone out like Saturday or Monday, and then afterward we didn't deliver. We were stuck with it.
Yeah.
So, and we were able to use most of it. Now, like our shelf life was tight getting it out to like our hospital accounts and healthcare, because obviously they weren't shut down. They were still taking deliveries. So and we also worked with Oakmont Bakery at the time. They did a big, like they made, I think it was like 10,000 sandwiches, and we gave out a bunch of milk with it.
That's
so
great.
I think for every sandwich they got, it was 2 milks that we gave with them. And part of it was we had, like I said, hundreds of thousands of half pints we didn't know what to do with, but also wanted to make sure we were being good neighbors and taking care of people as we were able to. So
that's awesome. How long is a shelf life for a pint, like a half pint?
From the day we make it, 17 days. 17
days. And it's like the 17th day you can consume it, and then after that you're not supposed to.
Well, no. So it shelf life and like the use by, best by dates are pretty confusing in the food industry.
Yeah.
So most of the industry goes by what you call a best by date. Mm-hmm. So that's especially like like a granola bar. Like it's not really going to go bad. It might start to taste a little weird.
Yeah.
So that's like, those are all best buys. Milk is all sell by date. So it has to be sold at retail in 17 days. But you can consume it after that. But nobody does.
Yeah.
Because everybody looks at the day and they're like, oh, it has to be bad. And
that's me. That's exactly how I am. Been like that my entire life.
Right. It's extremely confusing.
If it's lunch meat or anything like that, I remember, my parents would be pissed at me because I would see like bologna. It'd be like sell by date, this date. And I'd be like, I can't eat it now. It's terrible. I'll get sick if I eat it. But that's pretty incredible that you guys were able to get rid of all the product that you have without like wasting it, and kind of being able to like kind of pay it forward to the community and like kind of extend all that out of there, because that's crazy. Hundreds of thousands of gallons of or hundreds of thousands of pints of milk. Pretty crazy. It was a lot. And then we also had things like a 5-pound sour cream that would go to a food service account. Oh wow.
And there was really no outlet for those.
Yeah.
Because nobody was going out to eat. Restaurants were all shut. There was no food service.
What do you do with 5 pounds of sour cream?
I think we donated a lot of them to like food banks.
Oh, that's cool.
There were like all of our restaurant distributors, they were sitting on a whole bunch of it also, because they had gotten deliveries throughout the week. So their stock was done. And then again, Friday afternoon, shut down.
Now, if things shut down and you guys are automatically stuck with this, back stock of all this stuff, it's like, where does it go up the line for you? Do you have to like contact all these farmers and say like, yo, put a hold on this right now? Is there a way to like not milk cows? I don't know. That sounds dumb, I guess, but
no, there's not. That's one of the really hard things for the industry as a whole is that you can't just turn it off. The cows have to be milked 2 or 3 times a day, every day, no matter what.
Really?
Yeah. You can't just shut it off. Or you could do things, but it's gonna make the animals sick. It's gonna do a lot of.
It's like they have to get that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would make sense, I would guess.
So it's really complicated and confusing, the whole kind of, they call it balancing in the milk industry. So we have partnerships with like some cheese plants that'll take our excess milk that we don't use. So we have those relationships throughout the year to be able to handle like our fluctuations. Normally with schools is the big one. But so we were able to send a lot of milk out to those cheese plants. And the nice thing about cheese is that like they're aging it for 60 days.
Yeah.
And then they have, 6 months shelf life after that.
So you're not pushed up against a wall to like get the stuff out and get it consumed.
Right. Definitely not as much as fluid milk. But that said, like our cheese plants and the butter plants that we send our excess milk to, they didn't sell cheese or butter for like weeks.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it's all a big snowball
They
effect.
could only take so much milk before, because they're only putting cheese into storage and they're not selling anything.
Yeah.
And they can only buy raw ingredients for so long before you run out of money.
Wow, man, it's crazy, because like I've talked to restaurant owners, I've talked to, all different kinds of business people. And like I said, one of the main focuses is, COVID, because how people respond to it. Because if you still have a business after this year of just uncertainty, it's pretty impressive, especially
people in the restaurant industry. Oh my goodness.
That's why I was talking to Ben from Yoli's. I was just like, for you to like navigate through this, because, Matt at Streets, we talk about Streets on Carson on here all the time. It's, I talk to him all the time about like how he is kind of, dealing with all this uncertainty. And that's what's so like scary about it all, is it's just uncertain, like they have, that no one knows what is going on. So it's like, you're just hoping that something's going to just like unfold the way it's supposed to.
Yeah. And especially that first, like, I mean, obviously it's still uncertain, but the first few months, it was like every day something new and insane was happening.
Yeah.
And then so like on the one side of our business with the schools being shut down and restaurants, there was no milk going to those, but then retail was like up like 1,000% in terms of what they were buying. So we were able to put a lot of milk into retail because everybody was stocking up on food and groceries, and because
I didn't even think about that.
So it was like there was one day I guess it's like a constant ebb and flow of one day we have way too much milk. The next day we have nowhere near enough.
Yeah.
We need bottles, we need labels, we need milk. And then the next day it's like nobody's buying any milk anymore. It's like constant for the first like couple months.
It's interesting to think about that, because once the pandemic happened, like it was almost like now that you say it, it's like it puts me back into that, the beginning of it, where it's like, oh, we got to get gloves and masks up, and like, we got to go in there and try to find anything that's left. And it's like you went into the grocery store and there was nothing. Yeah. And it was crazy to think about that. And for you guys,
my wife kind of played this game every time we went to the store for the first month of like, what's going to be sold out this week.
Yeah.
And it was like 1 week, I'll never forget it. We walked in and there was no ice cream. The entire aisle totally cleared out.
Really?
It was unbelievable.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. I remember specifically looking for, I mean, I kind of understand cleaning products, obviously, but we went to just go buy Pledge. There was not a single bottle of Pledge or any wood cleaner or nothing like that.
Wow.
And I was
even like a wood cleaner, that's interesting.
That's what I said. I was like, wood cleaner. It's like, that ain't disinfectant, we just needed Pledge. It's not like we were going to like, disinfect our house, but there was just nothing there. That's pretty interesting to think about, like the whole grocery industry, through all this as well. I should try to find someone who runs a grocery store to talk about that, because it had to be insane, because like, you have all them lines of people, you got people fighting over stuff, paper towels, toilet paper, just insane. Yeah. Now,
and like, they have a huge challenge now trying to find people that want to work in a grocery store. They work on the front lines, and it's crazy.
Yeah. It's weird, because it's like, those are things that people don't think about it. Like, I've never thought about that. It's like, that's probably has to be nuts now to try to find people that are going to be exposed to people all the time.
Right.
Even with people getting vaccinated and stuff like that, it's still scary.
Right.
Now, for you to go up the line of this, you guys obviously have, labels, containers, all this stuff. Was there like was there any sort of like halt in like that, industry? Because I know that like, I work in oil and gas type industries like that, and there was things like that were shut down, and it's like, did you have any problems with your containers or anything?
No, since they support industries like ours, they weren't forced to shut down.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes a little bit more sense. Come on now, think ahead of time. Okay, so what did we get through there? So after we did that big giveaway, and after we kind of went through everything, I
totally forgot we were getting through the timeline here.
I know. It
was like just getting like into the.
We're tangential. Yeah. We like to be tangential here. The last guy I had on Yoli's, he was like, once we got done recording, he was like, dude, no one wants to listen to me. He was like, I don't even know what I'm saying. And I'm just like, I promise you people will love it. Yeah. And I sent him all the reviews, everything. People were like, he's hilarious. And he was so happy that it went well. He was like, I can't believe people wanted to listen to me. But like you and everyone else on here, everyone's like, oh, I don't like listening to my voice. And, people get weirded out about this whole like dynamic. But yeah, so the timeline. After we did that big giveaway, then you and I started to work together in February 2nd. So February 2nd, we did that sponsorship, and then it's of last year, February 2nd of 2020. And oh yeah, it's 2021.
Yeah, a little over a year ago.
2021. I like that whole idea of it all. It's like, man, like how, like because it makes me think about other people that are like trying to come up with content and things like that. It kind of like put a pigeonhole for everyone to do all this stuff, because it's like, that was back when people didn't even think they could go outside, that it was going to be like, that movie Outbreak or something like that.
Yeah.
And so we went from there. And then right after that, we did the chocolate banana limited edition milk. And that was one of my favorites.
That's one of my personal favorites.
Chocolate banana?
Oh, yeah.
Now, this is a question I'm curious about. It was put in and it said, what is your best-selling milk and what was your worst-selling milk?
Of the limited edition flavors?
Of the limited edition flavors.
So overall, we've done chocolate peanut butter the most number of times. So but for any like one time.
One time.
Oak Monter was by far the biggest.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, it was unreal. Absolutely great. And
the worst, gingerbread, which probably nobody even remembers us doing.
Gingerbread?
Yeah.
When was that?
I think it was like holidays 2016, maybe.
I definitely don't remember
16
that.
or 17.
Did you personally like it?
It was all right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a big fan of chocolate. So
Yeah.
I could house anything chocolate. And we had one guy on our little like product development team. He was like, it tastes like fish food. And everybody's like, you're crazy. It's not, it tastes great. And then turns out it is terrible. Nobody liked it.
It tastes like fish food.
Yeah.
Every dog food that I get my dog smells like fish food now.
Yeah.
Tell it every time I open the bag. It kills me. But so if the Oak Monter, now that's a little bit down the line. We'll get to that, but we'll definitely touch on the Oak Monter. And then, after the chocolate banana, we had this crazy moment where Dave Portnoy gets his hands on a carton of Turner's tea.
That was insane.
I want to know, as someone like you who, this is obviously your family, it's a family owned brand. And it's like, that guy he's larger than life right now.
Yeah.
How can you even describe who Dave, like what he is? He's just like a business mogul. And
so, before all of that, I knew what Barstool Sports was and all that.
Yeah.
But I couldn't have told you who Dave Portnoy was.
Yeah.
Before that day.
Yeah.
I couldn't even told you what he looked like. No idea. Barstool Sports, I knew what it was. Dave Portnoy, no idea.
You had no idea. You didn't know what like One Bite was or anything like that. Like One Bite, everyone knows the rules.
No.
See, that's what's so great, because I remember exactly where I was whenever I got about like probably 8 messages and like a bunch of text messages.
Oh, my phone was blowing up.
Screenshots, everything. And I was riding my bike on the Panhandle Trail with my wife, and my phone just kept binging. And Antoinette was like, what the hell is going on? She was like, is there someone die? And then I open up my phone, and my buddy's sending me screenshots of Dave Portnoy holding the tea. And I'm like, what is going on? So I was like, we got to pull over right now. So we stopped, and I'm sitting there like watching this, and I'm like, I cannot believe that this is happening right now. And just not even that, like he has the tea, but like he goes around the city, or he goes around all these cities, tries pizzas, but I don't know. It's just weird whenever it's in your city.
Yeah.
And like that Giuliano's place that he went to was right near my old house.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, it's just bizarre. So where were you at whenever you saw that this happened? Because how big was that for you, for the brand?
Oh, that was probably the most attention we ever gotten in one day. Like the amount of money we would have had to pay for that advertising.
I know.
It's been like unreal.
And that's what I was like. Antoinette was like, do you think he knew that was going to happen? Like talking about you. And I was like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
I was
no
like,
clue.
There's no way. I was like, there's no way anyone could have known that happened. It seems so organic and so like, I don't know. It just seems so natural. So like, where were you at whenever you started getting blown up?
I was on my back porch. I think we were outside cooking, like grilling or something. And like, my phone just started going nuts. Like my cousin, like everybody I work with, like all my friends texted me, sending it to me on messages. And I was just like, what is happening right now? This is like blown up. I probably watched it like a dozen times. Just like, holy cow.
I know. And
insane.
You're just like, I mean, like, I don't know. It's just nuts because, you know, you see all the stuff he did with the pandemic, like raising millions of dollars for like businesses. And, you know, he's kind of he's a raw type of guy, I would say, you know, like he's very raw. And he doesn't really care what people think. So it's
definitely not.
But for his actions that he's kind of displayed in the last year of all this craziness, like, feel free to grab another water out of there. Ice cold Deer Park. But
not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor. I love Deer Park water. It turns out there's Turner's water, right?
We sell like gallons of water.
That's what I mean. There's not like anything smaller than a gallon of Turner's water, right?
Nah.
Okay, I was just making sure. Because I feel like I look for it and, you know, I never seen it.
Yeah, we haven't really gotten the water game.
That's all right. That's all right. You guys know your lane. You know, you're capitalizing on your lane. But so now, I mean, he said, wait, what was it? What's the saying that he came up with?
Cut in a carton.
Cut in a carton.
Yeah.
I don't know why I was going to say cup, but a cut in a carton. And then the next day I see that, you know, capitalizing the best business move. Bam.
So that, going back to Top Hat and those guys and like their partnership. So that was one of those times where like super beneficial to work with them. Cause I was thinking like all night, like what are we going to do? What are we going to do off of this to like, because like capitalize.
Your mindset is like, you know, we have to ride this wave right here for a second.
Absolutely.
I mean, anyone that would be a smart business person would be like, what could we do to like, you know, ride this wave and capitalize?
Right. So I like probably like 7:00 the next morning, like I thought of this idea. I was like, we got to do a shirt, like, and off of like the cut in a carton idea. So I sent it over to those guys at Top Hat. I was like we got to figure this out. Like, it's going to be huge. And like within like 2 hours, they shot me back this sweet design. I was like, boom, let's do it.
Yeah, the design is so like it's just simple. Love it.
Yeah,
I got one up in the cupboard. I don't know. I've been a big fan of all the merchandise, and it's not even because, you know, like I'm a big Turner's guy. It's just that it looks like good merchandise. You know what I mean?
Oh, they do an outstanding job.
I do. That hat was I love the dad hat. You know, the black dad hat with the carton logo. I thought that was such like a cool logo.
Yeah.
But
my personal favorite now is, I have it on now, the orange Field by Turner's hat.
Yeah. I bought one for my dad for Christmas, and he loved it. He loves any sort of trucker hat.
Yeah. I'm going to drop a merch bomb on you here for
a
second.
I'd love to.
So kind of not through our site, but so we got a big collab coming up. Is at the end of April, beginning of May. We're going to be doing a collab with Steel City.
Really?
It's going to be huge.
Oh,
it's
wow.
gonna be awesome. So,
Steel City. When is it?
May. It's launching.
Let me write it in my notebook so I remember. May.
Yeah, put it on your calendars.
May.
It's going to be huge.
Steel City. Yeah, Steel City. That dude, he's a smart businessman.
Yeah.
I talked to him on here, and it was cool to hear his story. You know, he's just, I mean, they have a shirt for anything. Yeah. Literally any feeling you want, any sort of.
They have this one that I should have bought it at the beginning of the pandemic. It was just like a heart on the chest that said, "Don't touch me." I was like, "That's perfect." I should have bought one, but I didn't.
Yeah, that's a good one. I didn't even see that one.
Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to be, I mean, Steel City's huge.
Huge.
It's going to be a
great collab. Celebrities wearing it. Michael Keaton, Jack White. You know, Joe Manganiello. You know, you can't ask for nothing better than that. How did that come to be?
So I think it was in January, December. I just kind of like threw out there on Instagram and Twitter, like, who should we do a collab with? And a bunch of people wrote back Steel City, so reached out to them, and they were all for it.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I love their storefront.
I've actually never been to their store, just seen their stuff online.
Their store is so cool, and I think that's how I got exposed to who Steel City was, because like I remember walking by, I was like, oh, is that like one of them, like, you know, Sports-aramas or whatever? Mm-hmm. And then it made me sound really old. Is that one of them Sports-aramas? But I went into their storefront, and like they just have a really, really cool like interior design and like the feel of it all. But they got an endless amount of products. Okay, so the next thing on my list is the ocean spray video. So like, it's so weird because like in this last year, that was
like, when did that blow up?
October 7th, 2020.
Okay.
I had the date written down because I was like, you know, what happened this last year? Like everything was so weird, because it's like, you know, as soon as I kind of get into it all, and like, you know, we do the sponsorship and everything like that, then COVID happens, and I'm like, you know, how the hell could I get anyone in here to talk? Yeah. So I start doing them The research base. Yeah, those solo ones. You know, I'm out here just trying to make it happen.
Grinding.
And it turns out the solo episodes were a big hit with people. They really enjoyed it. But then, you know, after all the pandemic stuff kind of started to cycle its way through, then we had a guy named Dogface who he created this I mean, it was a video that just kind of like took the weight off of the world. It like kind of like lightened the mood of everyone because, I mean, it just kind of took over. You know what I mean? Like this video was being posted everywhere, and it was this guy just riding a skateboard, you know, drinking ocean spray cranberry juice.
This might be a dumb question, but I'm gonna ask it anyway.
Go ahead.
Just like Dave Portnoy, like was this guy famous before this Ocean's?
No,
like I live under a rock sometimes.
I think that he had like a TikTok.
Yeah,
and
that's
think,
where it blew up first.
Yeah, I think he had a TikTok where he like did a lot of like videos of him dancing and shit, and that was just like one of them that like, you know,
and then it just went nuts.
Just took off because I remember seeing. I just remember people putting statuses like mood, vibes, how I'm feeling right now, and it's just like a guy that's just enjoying his time. So obviously I start to see all these videos of everyone doing this. I saw a guy doing it with a Heinz ketchup bottle down at the Point. This guy was, I don't know if he was on Heelys or rollerblades, but he was like drinking some of this Heinz ketchup, and I love ketchup, but I'm not drinking Heinz ketchup. So I mean, obviously I had to do it with the Turners.
Yeah, that was sweet.
I was pumped how it came out. I had numerous people looking at me while I was doing it. I felt
Down in Giant Eagle parking lot.
I felt so embarrassed. So that it took me probably like 3 times to be able to do it. First time I fell right off, spilt half of because the one was like the fresh half gallon. Yeah. Then I tripped on a rock. And then it started to spill out, and I was like, God damn it, do I have to get another one? And then I was like, I'm not. So I just did another one, and then the third one ended up coming out, and it ended up being great.
It was flawless.
I appreciate it. I'm happy the way it came out because like I wanted to be able to be the person to channel that guy and be able to put Turners into that.
There were probably a bunch of like old ladies sitting in their cars just like, what the hell is this kid doing?
There was young kids in there, and I think that they were smoking some sort of thing in their car in the parking lot, broad daylight, and I rode right past them, and they said something like They said something like do an ollie or something like that, and I'm just like, I'm sitting there trying to film myself, just
trying
acting
not to
like
eat it again,
trying not to eat it, trying to not to drop my phone and shatter it. I dropped it the first time before I even got on the skateboard, and I was like, I broke my phone, and then it wasn't broken. It didn't break, thank God. But the ocean spray video, October, ended up being a big hit. I forgot about it until I was like looking through all of our stuff, and Antoinette was like, oh, you did that video. And I was like, oh my God, I forgot all about that. It would be a travesty to not bring that up. Yeah. That was a great one. Next thing on the list, we did the Halloween collaboration shirt. Yeah. Huge. It was awesome. It was a big deal. I saw someone walking around Southside wearing it. Nice. Made me feel so good.
That's a good feeling.
It's a great feeling. Awesome. I mean, you have to have experienced that numerous times, seeing a Turner's t-shirt as you're driving or something like that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, so what's the accessibility to getting a Turner's t-shirt for people?
The orange one?
The orange one, the original one.
They're pretty few and far between. Now, pretty much only do them on like social media contests at this point.
And that's going to stay that way, right? You're never going to sell that one, right?
Definitely not.
Okay, yeah.
Sorry to break your heart.
Yeah, I love
Not yours, I mean everybody listening.
Yeah, because I got a couple, no big deal. Perks of the job. No guy. And then after the Halloween stuff, so right around September 22nd, September. Oh, that's had to be flip-flop then. We had the cookies and cream limited edition milk. That was one of my favorites. Yeah. I think
besides the Oak Monitor, that's probably number 2.
Cookies and cream? For
like a single go. Yeah.
Did it even surpass the birthday cake milk?
Oh yeah.
Really? Was that not a crazy big hit?
Oh, it did really well, for sure.
That was my favorite. That's my number 1. Even over the regular chocolate, which is pretty crazy. It's definitely It's a tall order, but I feel like that birthday cake milk was insane. And you guys did the blue milk Star Wars release of that.
Yeah, we rolled the dice on that one. It turned out all right.
It turned out all right. I feel like
We didn't get a call from Walt Disney.
we didn't. I mean, we didn't talk about that for that. We might have had a meeting. I think me and
I
you.
think I told you it's coming up, and like,
Yeah, I think we had dinner at Streets that day, and you were telling me because I was like, "Did that happen the last episode?" But yeah, so like nothing ended up happening with that.
nope, flew under the radar. That'll be the last time we do that one. only rolling the dice in that roulette table one or craps table once.
That I mean, that was I don't know. I think it went well, right? How many of those did you make? Do you know
The Star Wars one in
Yeah.
particular? It was a pretty small run
Because I couldn't find it anywhere.
Yeah.
I looked.
I mean, we ran it once.
Yeah.
And that was it. We weren't taking. I mean, we took a chance, but we weren't gonna.
Yeah, it wasn't too crazy.
Leave a layup out there for Disney to.
Especially nowadays, they probably just have a whole team of people trying to just send out
It's
cease
also
and
like
desist.
right when everything got shut down. I think they had bigger problems at that point.
That makes sense. Yeah, you got to find the right time. That plays it as it is. After the cookies and cream, then we did the red velvet right around November.
Yep.
I thought that was a great one as well. I'm not a huge red velvet guy. Like I don't really ever order that ever, but I'm an eggnog guy.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a big fan of nog season, and that one was definitely that was a good one for sure. That one I feel like I saw that more places. You know, I feel like that popped up more, and maybe I just noticed it more because it was like that red. But,
Yeah, you might. It was probably in a similar amount of stores,
similar amount.
and that one was fun. It was a little bit different than just the normal flavored milk we did, since we had the eggnog added into it.
So how do you guys come up with this? Like, what's a process of turning your already great product into something like a limited edition flavor?
So we have a product development team. There's, I don't know, 5 or 6 of us on it.
You're on there as well?
Yeah.
You're on all the teams, aren't you?
No.
No.
I try to stay off some of them. Like the safety committee. I'm good.
Safety committee. Want no business of this.
No. But anyway, so we have obviously me from marketing, and then sales, plant,
Yeah.
different areas of the business, so that I always say that the salespeople can't sell things that the plant can't make, and
Yeah.
the plant can't make things that people don't want to buy.
Yeah.
So there's a good balance. There's a good tug and pull from the different areas of the business. But anyway, so to come up with a flavor, I mean, we kind of have our home runs at this point, like the cookies and cream, chocolate banana, peanut butter.
What was the first one?
The first one I just said?
No, the first limited edition flavor.
Chocolate peanut butter.
That was the first one you guys ever did. And when was that?
2015, 14, 15.
And how many different flavors do you guys have now? I mean, probably good handful, almost 10 now, probably, right?
I think we have more than that.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty. I mean, and you said 2015 was the first one.
Yeah.
So 6 years. That's a good. That's a good progression.
Yeah.
To get 10 or more of these in the last few years.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good.
It's a lot. It's probably one of the more fun parts of the job. I mean, you get to taste test a lot of different things, come up with cool ideas, and
Got to be fun.
and get to launching. It's a lot of work to launch products, but it's a lot of fun also.
Yeah, I really like the labels of every one of them. They all have a very consistent, cohesive look to them, but they're all really good. They're very they catch your eye whenever you're going through there.
Yeah.
Does caramel have something to do with flowers?
Yeah. So we, the graphic designer that we work with,
Yeah.
we just kind of have those throughout all of our labels and branding.
I was just curious.
Yeah.
Dumb question for me,
Yeah.
I guess. But
Yeah, we have, I think we've done 12, maybe 13 different flavors. Some of them are never coming back.
Yeah.
The gingerbread, we'll leave that one dead. But we have a lot of good flavors. We got chocolate caramel's a new one. We're going to do the chocolate marshmallow again coming up in May. And then this summer, we got another new one coming up. It's going to be a big collab. Pretty excited about it. So
I'm excited too.
Can't drop too many hints about it yet.
Not
We're
yet.
Still in the works, but
You'll hear from it.
July. Keep your eyes
July,
on
that's coming?
Yeah.
Now, for you guys to come up with flavors, how many throwaway ideas do you have before you get one that you put into production? What's one of the ones that you came up with that you guys did not do?
So we were planning to do this one last fall, and with the pandemic, it just
Pumpkin
didn't
pie.
work out. No. We did a pumpkin spice eggnog. I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years ago.
That's before my time, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
That was out of everything we've ever made. That's my favorite product we ever made.
Really? Pumpkin spice eggnog?
It's good.
Oh, wow.
It's real good.
I would love that. I love a pumpkin spice.
So I don't remember the question. My bad.
That's all right.
I was about to answer it though.
How many? I know you were 100% on that.
Oh, which one did I come up with that we didn't end up doing?
Yeah.
So last fall we were going to do a maple milk, which is like milk with maple syrup in it. And it was, I mean, it would have been a little bit of a risk. Like it wouldn't have been chocolate something, but it had a lot going for it, but it ended up not being the right time. So,
Maple.
Yeah.
Are you a maple fan?
Yeah.
I feel like I would definitely try that. I'm usually not a maple guy though.
And maple's one of those flavors that's been kind of trending the last few years.
I feel like it's an old. I feel like it's like an old soul flavor. But you see, I remember my
It's
aunt
coming back.
Yeah, my aunt always had like maple candies and stuff, but now I see more of it into there.
Yeah. So that was one that we were going to do it last fall. Last minute, we kind of pulled the plug on it and went a different direction though.
So how long does it take you to come up with an idea to put it into production? Like, do you do that like, a year ahead of time? Does it take that long with all the preparations for the labels and stuff?
So the fastest we can do it's like 6 or 7 months.
To be able to be comfortable to do it correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's like everything has got to go like pretty right for that to happen.
Yeah.
Like the oak moner, when did we, I can't remember. I think it was maybe last August that we decided to do that one. So that was actually probably faster than 6 months, but that one came together pretty quick.
Wow. So you guys were already planning that in August of last year.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But that's a pretty tight timeline to be able to.
That came out January 25th.
Yeah.
August, September, October, November, December, January. So yeah, 6 months.
Yeah.
A little bit less than that. Now, how does that come to be? I mean, obviously, Oakmont Bakery is probably one of the biggest names in the city, along with you guys. Yeah. I mean, if people go through Plum or Oakmont at all, you see the Oakmont Bakery. Cannot miss the new one. Huge. That was me and my wife's first date. So that place holds
a good first date there.
It's a good first date. Can you believe she had the audacity to try to pay for her own meal? I was like, get out of here. You're crazy. But yeah, the Oakmont Bakery, it's like they had that little spot and then they have this like insane new building that's just like, it's a factory in there. There's more sweets in there that you could ever even look at.
Oh man. Can you imagine the number of calories in that store at any given
point? At any given time, just on one table, on one side table. Right. And what's your favorite thing there? The oak moner?
The oak moner, yeah.
Yeah, that's what we got on our first date because she was like, "This is what everyone gets." The oak moner.
She's from that area, right?
Yeah, she lived right up the hill by that Sheets.
Okay.
But so August. Do you approach them? Do they approach you?
Yeah. So last year we were kind of looking for ways that we can kind of move the limited edition products to the next level.
Yeah.
And we did that a little bit with the Grist House and the collab we did with them with the different stouts and different beers that they did based on the flavors that we did.
Yeah.
But so we wanted to kind of take that to the next level or next step and find somebody that we could make a product off of and do a collaboration that way. So we reached out to them and they were all for it and
that's awesome.
Went from there and did like the research and development on the flavor, got the right flavor. We actually hit it pretty quickly, which made it a lot easier to hit that fast timeline.
Yeah, I think it tasted pretty great, pretty comparable to the actual oak moner. How long did that take to like kind of put that together?
So it was either the first or second sample we got or that we got made up from our supplier that we ended up going with.
Is that now is the development of the flavor in your ballpark or is it their ballpark? Like are you eating the oak moner and just being like, all right, let's put this together kind of, is that on like your back or did they have hands in that?
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
So I would say we do the majority of it. And then obviously they were in on approving the flavor and make sure that they were good with it.
Don't even ask them. Yeah. It's like, hey guys, this doesn't taste anything like it.
It's going to be a mystery flavor.
The Oak Monitor, I mean, like, and I assume that it was a pretty easy decision to make it the Oak Monitor.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely with something like that, doing their, like the flagship is definitely the way to go.
Now, is there, now you mentioned the Grist House collaborations, and you guys did these stouts. You had the chocolate or cookies and cream stout, right? And then, a slew of the other ones. For that how much more difficult is it to create an alcoholic version compared to a milk version? Is there a way to like put that into perspective?
So Grist House really did all of the kind of development on that one.
Yeah.
And they didn't even really do any tests. Like they're that good.
Yeah.
It was like crazy. They were just like, yeah, we're just going to like mix this up and like, it's going to be awesome. And like, they were right every time. It was crazy.
I think I went to 2 different ones. I think I went to, was it the chocolate strawberry maybe?
Yeah, I think I saw you at that one.
Chocolate strawberry, and I think one other one, but there was a line wrapped around the entire block.
Oh my goodness. I think the chocolate strawberry is the one I saw you at, and like
you were shaking like a dog. It was pouring down rain and freezing.
40 degrees and raining, and there was a line around the block. Yeah. I'm like, these people are insane, but I love it.
A full line, and Steve was standing not even under a roof.
There was no space under.
There was no. You were being so nice because the people that were like handing out the cans were
people actually working out, just standing there.
You were just standing there. I was like, Antoinette, I think that's Steve Turner over there.
Just like
shaking. And I was like, Steve, you all right? But yeah, did you ever expect it to be, on that scale of success? I know
definitely not the first one. It was, again, like the merch, like it was like the first time we had ever like done something exciting like that. And
what was the first one?
Chocolate marshmallow.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And they're doing a beer for when we do the chocolate marshmallow in May again this year. So
there we go.
So I think it was like, it's just something exciting, something different. Gave people a reason to kind of care about us.
Yeah.
If that makes sense, put us in a different light, and so just something fun.
And you have like, it's weird to think about like the beer fanatics, because like everyone wants to, if you look in a beer aficionado fridge, they got 1,000 different cans of just all kinds of stuff. And then for you guys to be, who you are and be able to kind of blend that together, obviously selling out like hotcakes.
Yeah.
Now for it to, what the hell was I just going to say now? Was going to be something good, but I can't even remember what it was. Oh yeah. So you were talking about how you wanted to do, kind of elevate the limited edition milks. Yeah. It's like beyond the elevation of it all, it kind of opens up a whole different like level of scaling, because not everyone drinks beer,
right.
But if you just make a milk, you can sell it to kids, everything, like everyone's drinking that.
Right. That's one of the things that I realized over the last like year and a half is like the power of like co-branding or collaborations.
Yeah.
Like it's huge for both parties involved. We like, especially with the beer, like it put us in a totally different light for some of those consumers. We got some of Grist House's audience and consumer. They got some of ours.
Yeah.
So, it's a win all the way around.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Yeah. Why wouldn't it be? Everyone wants to, absolutely.
Especially when you have very popular or like brands that people love. It's like with us in Grist House, us in Oakmont Bakery, us in Steel City coming up, and then the one we have coming up in July. It's
goes together like peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. What doesn't fit better?
Right.
So we've been talking all about milk and everything like that. I'm curious about the tea, and someone submitted this question. It says, how much tea do you guys make a year? Do you have any sort of number of that?
Give me a second to think about it.
Go ahead. Because I was curious. Whenever someone put that in there, I was like, I am kind of curious. I feel like it would be hard to put a number on.
So we kind of classify our sales in like milk is kind of like one funnel, and then like tea, juices, and drinks is kind of the other. So like the juice is kind of skews it, because we do a lot of like obviously like the hospitals and schools, they use a lot of juice. But like our flagship, like the premium tea, It's probably 1 million gallons.
1 million gallons?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I did not expect that.
We sell a lot of tea.
1 million gallons.
Yeah.
My goodness. Jeez.
And that's like,
I'm shocked.
That's like across like all the sizes and.
Yeah, but still like 1 million gallons. So how much milk? Like it's more, it's way more than that, right?
We sell more milk than tea. So like that milk, it's probably like 8 million gallons a year. Somewhere in there.
That is ridiculous. My goodness. I can't even wrap my mind around it.
Like we're a small dairy.
I mean,
in the grand scheme of things, like we're small.
That's insane. So people are just doing, that's ridiculous.
Like, have you ever heard of Dean Foods?
Yeah, Dean.
They went bankrupt last year, but they're like hundreds of millions of gallons. Like, it's insane.
God.
Yeah, like we're a drop in the bucket.
That's cool though. I mean, it's awesome to be able to be like, it's awesome to be able to like kind of put it in perspective a little bit, because it's like, Turner's is a, it rings a certain bell on the same level as like, a Heinz or something like that. So it's kind of like, it's interesting to hear, kind of put in perspective of what that is. 1 million gallons it's wild to me. Okay. So another interesting question. You don't have to answer any of these if you don't want to, but I'm curious about it. What is Turner's biggest setback that they've ever done, that you guys have ever done? It's a good question, I thought.
Like product wise or
anything really? Anything. Like have you guys ever made anything that was just like a crapshoot that you were just like, well, that definitely didn't work, besides for the gingerbread?
Yeah, I wouldn't call that one a major setback. I don't know. I have to think about that one. Nothing comes to the top of my mind as like a
where it like sticks out. Now, you guys obviously came out with the cottage cheese and everything like that. I'm sure that was like a huge, that seemed to be like a big thing, like along with like yogurts and stuff. That was all sold out in the grocery stores whenever we were walking through there, during the pandemic. Did that go well? Because you just rolled that out this year, correct?
Yeah. So the coffee and cottage cheese, like the single serve, it was like right at the beginning of the pandemic. And because of that, it's been tough because we haven't been able to get in front of buyers to be able to get them to bring the product into their stores. So we've had a tough time getting those on shelves. And also those are big convenience store items, and convenience store traffic is way down.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
People aren't going to work, so they're not stopping at the store to get their lunch for the day or whatever.
That's a good point. Never thought about that. Okay. This is this could be a loaded question, and this is probably the one that I was most curious about. Do Turners, and we'll call them those who shall not be named, the other brand, do you guys hate each other? It says do Turners and those who thou shall not be named, do you guys hate each other?
No.
Is there any sort of like, bad blood in the dairy world where you guys are like the greasers and the socias and just like going after each other?
No. So kind of like behind the scenes, like in the dairy industry, like people work together a lot.
Yeah.
And there's like regional groups. So over the years, we've actually had a pretty close relationship with a lot of our competitors.
That's cool.
So we also partially own a plant in Titusville, PA that makes all of our cottage cheese and like sour cream. They don't make those anymore.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Maybe we'll get into that in a little bit.
Okay.
But so with that facility, we actually are partial owners with a couple other dairies around us here.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool to know. Didn't understand that.
So yeah, we're competitors for sure. But
absolutely.
Yeah, we not out there like cutting each other off at the knees or anything like that.
Stabbing each other's tires. Yeah. some real mob shit.
Oh yeah.
So what's up with the Titusville the squirt bottles?
So we make 4 years ago we acquired Cordion Dairy in the South Hills of Pittsburgh. So we're making them there now.
Ah.
Yeah.
I thought that was probably the coolest thing that was that was a cool thing that we came upon on the last podcast episode. Probably something that blew my mind more than anything, because I think that the squirt bottles taste the best out of everything, even over the paper. And people roast me alive for it. Oh yeah. But because I said it on here a couple weeks ago, I was like, the squirt bottles were made somewhere else. That's why they taste better. And people were like, the paper cartons will always be the best. I'm like, all right, dude.
There's people that won't drink it out of anything.
I know.
Paper.
People really live and die for it. They're like, two different people. Some lady that I didn't know who she was. She just said paper cartons are better with a smiley face emoji. And it was like, the squirt bottles are definitely not as good. And I was like, all right, whatever. Sorry. Okay, so dairy-free versions of limited edition milk. I had probably 4 different people say, are we going to get any sort of vegan-friendly milk, any sort of non-dairy limited edition flavors? Because we're out here. People are out here, they drink some milk, and it doesn't do well with their stomach. They got to hit the head. Yeah. Is there any sort of silver linings for this? Any sort of things coming up?
So I can't say that we've talked much about like a dairy-free or vegan option, but we have talked about doing a lactose-free version of some of our LTOs to kind of meet some of that need. Now for the LTOs or the limited edition products, again, we haven't talked about like the vegan for those. We've kind of kicked around the idea of like an almond milk kind of thing just in general, but haven't made it real far on launching that. Is
there a way to be able to like kind of put in perspective like that sort of demographic compared to like a regular milk drinker? Like, do you guys have like information on that?
Like how many people are lactose intolerant?
Yeah, like stuff like that. Like, is that like a big group?
It's big and it's growing. I mean, kind of the way we look at it is there's people that are diagnosed lactose intolerant, right? And then there's people that
self-diagnosed,
think they're lactose intolerant. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter if they're self-diagnosed or not, because it's going to influence their purchasing and eating habits regardless.
Absolutely.
So to give you the number, it's somewhere around like 16% of the population is either lactose intolerant or
says they are,
or believes they are for one reason or another.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Do you have anyone in your family lactose intolerant?
Yeah.
That's a struggle.
Yep.
It's like, come on.
Yeah, we just shun them and put them in the corner.
Yeah, locked in a closet like Harry Potter. Okay, so another person said, I think we already did the best-selling, worst-selling milk. Okay, here's a good one. This will be a juicy one. What is the best tea besides Turner's tea? I feel like you gotta have some confidence to answer this.
Yeah. I'd probably say Turkey Hill.
Turkey Hill.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever had one.
If I really wanted a tea and couldn't find ours or whatever, like I'd probably go with Turkey Hill.
Yeah. I mean, obviously Turner's is the number one.
Yeah, right. I mean, I'd probably just not buy it.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
But I mean, truthfully, like there's decent.
Are you just strictly a tea person? Do you like any like sort of green teas or anything like that?
Nah, not really. I'm more of just a classic.
Classic.
Well, that's not totally true. I'll drink the black and gold. That's probably like my number 2.
And that's the regular tea mixed with the lemonade, right?
Yeah.
No big deal. Black and gold, that's some good stuff. So I already asked where the colors came from. Limited edition milk, got the Setback, got the Turners and those who shall not be named. And someone said, do you remember Taylor's iced tea?
Yep.
Are they around anymore or anything?
No, they went out of business. They were in Ambridge.
Ambridge.
It's probably late 90s. I think they went out of business.
Wow. I've never even heard of that before.
I mean, there used to be dozens and dozens of dairies in the Pittsburgh area. Like every neighborhood had their own dairy pretty much at one point.
And when did that like sort of phase out?
It's been happening for a long time.
Yeah. Wow. Very interesting.
I hear about, it seems like a new one like all the time.
Maybe I'm just not like, paying attention to it or anything like that. But I bet you if someone had a gun to my head and they said, name 3 of them, I could probably name 3 of them. Maybe that's about it. But it's interesting to think about that. Now, do you think that there's anything that I've missed in the past year that we did not cover? I mean, you're a dad.
Yeah.
I mean, how's that with your everyday work? Because I mean, obviously you're working, I would assume you're working longer hours than just, 8 hours and go home, because some people are, they're just there serving time. You can't really just serve time there. Like, this is your life.
Right. Yes. I mean, me and my wife had our first baby last July. And I got, with my job, like primarily being marketing, I was able to work from home a good bit over the last year.
That's great.
Which was super fortunate.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, it's having a baby in the middle of a pandemic is like
crazy,
less than ideal, but I mean, we're happier with him for sure. So that's been a wild ride.
That's good. That's
and
good.
I don't even know how to begin to describe it. It's great. It's also super challenging and a lot of fun. So
probably all good stuff.
Yeah.
Now, as you're, over the years or over the last year, I saw you guys also put out some like sort of cooking content. Like what would you even call them? Well, they're like kind of cooking step videos, or
yeah, kind of like that, like
montage?
Tasty videos is kind of
something like that.
Like the big one that's done them.
Now, did you tell me? Do I remember you telling me that you did these?
My wife actually was the one that did a lot of them.
Yeah.
So,
and like, that like what's your idea of, in a whole of like coming up with like content, because you guys have definitely like stepped your game up for content, merchandise, marketing in general. For you to do this over the last year, how do you kind of keep that creativity? How do you keep like, are you just kind of thinking like, hey, this might be a cool idea, let's just try it out? Like, is that sort of like your feeling behind it all?
There's definitely like some aspect of like just throwing it at the wall and seeing what sticks. But I mean, there's also like, I follow a lot of other companies on social media, kind of seeing what they do and borrowing ideas from them, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing my dad always told me growing up is once you're out of school, you're allowed to copy off of people.
I love that. That's good.
I mean, you can't steal like intellectual property, but I mean, you can see social media posts and tailor them to your own needs.
Absolutely.
So yeah,
everything we're in now is, we're in this world of saturation. No matter what you do, it's been done,
right.
And we're all just, it's like me being mad at someone for starting a podcast or something like that.
There's an unreal number of podcasts in Pittsburgh.
It is.
Like, I don't know if it exploded over the last year with everything, or if like they were always there and like I had just been asleep, or
it definitely has taken off a little bit more over the last year. If you think about it, people are just home. So like, if you look at, are you a video game guy?
Nah,
me either. But I know that over the last year, there's been a crazy resurgence of, streamers, and people can't find like processing chips for their computers. And like
there's a shortage on like car manufacturing because of that, which is crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's weird. It's just weird because like we said, no one ever experienced this. No one knows what was going on. And if you're stuck at home, why not do a podcast? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Again, you might as well throw it at the wall and see if it sticks.
Gotta see what it sticks. And that's like, people, I see all these like podcasts start, and, some people like get discouraged. Like how,
starting it would be so hard. Like, I mean, at the beginning, you're probably like you and your mom are probably the only ones listening.
Yeah. You know what I mean, dude?
Until you start building up that audience, and like, there's a lot of work that goes into it with really little reward at the beginning.
The first year of this thing was nothing. You know what I mean? It was, 10, 15 listens, some in the single digits of people that no one's ever heard of.
Yeah.
And you're just like, will this ever go anywhere?
Yeah.
And it's like, people from my high school are like, oh, that little podcast thing you're doing, that's cool. And like now, it's.
And like you're over here like pouring your heart and soul into it.
Dude, every bit of it. I work a 40-hour week, and then I'm doing, 6 to 8 hours of work every week on these. Yeah. And it's like, I don't know. I love it though. I mean, I'm obviously still doing it, so I love it. But the ending segment that I do with all my guests. Actually, before we get to the ending segment, I want to know, what are the goals for Turners in this next year? I mean, everyone's kind of getting back to where I guess we kind of stopped, where the world kind of stopped. People are starting to like pick back up from where they were. What are your goals coming up? Obviously, you got these new limited edition flavors coming. What's the deal? What's the tea? So, no pun intended.
So the big thing is coming up. I mean, it's more of those collaborations, co-brands.
Yeah.
Those are definitely the big things that we have coming up for sure. Some other partnerships we're doing with the Pittsburgh 10 miler race in November. I'm looking forward to that. It's a new one.
You running that?
I was going to, but we're sponsoring it, so now I gotta work. But it's all good.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Could run it after at night.
Yeah, right. I'll run before and then I'll run it and I'll just stop at the cars there. Start slinging teas at people.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, those are the big things that we have coming up, and probably the biggest thing is just getting back to some level of normalcy, and especially once fall comes back around, like schools will be back in, people will be
full time.
Like I think it'll start to look more like a normal world, whatever that exactly means. Like there will be some sense of certainty instead of uncertainty. I don't know.
Either or.
Yeah.
I'm not no grammar police on here. You know what I mean?
But like, I think by that point we'll be settled into something and kind of get a better idea of what we can expect going forward.
I hope so. You know, I mean, obviously
It's been a long year.
It's been a long year. Everyone does everything to be safe, and you know, you want to do the right things, but I mean, it does get old. You know what I mean? People are getting stir crazy. You know, at first you're like, at first, whenever I was laid off, I was like, this is awesome. You know what I mean? I'm building puzzles. You know, it's Tuesday and I'm building a puzzle. You know what I mean? For 8 hours, I'm building a puzzle. Right. But then it got old pretty quick. And, you know, you start to really think about the people that don't have that. You know, there's people that are suffering. You know, I was collecting unemployment. You know, thank God my wife was still working. But it's like, you know, so many terrible things happen. So many businesses closed. And now that they have like, you know, some sort of, you know, I've read lists of businesses that have closed in the last year, and it's just like crazy how many.
It's probably overwhelming.
Super overwhelming. And it's just, you know, if anything, you know, that's why I did like that small business episode and like, you know, just try to do anything I can to like, you know, kind of bring some light to the people that are out here in the front lines, just making it happen. And
like you said, there's finally some hope on the horizon. There's something to look forward to now, and we're almost to the end of it. So it's as hard of a year as it's been for me personally and for work. I mean, there's people that are in way tougher situations all the way around, and it's got to be thankful for what we have. But it's been manageable. But
absolutely.
On a lighter note of that, like you said at the beginning with like you're just like, this is great doing puzzles. Like I'm an introverted person, so like the first few months it was like, it's great. I don't have to talk to anybody.
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
But it's like, man, like I just kind of wish I had like the option to see people.
Exactly.
Do stuff. So
exactly. That's what I mean. Whenever I was laid off, I fell in love with bike riding. You know, I haven't rode a bike since 6th grade, and then I bought a bike with a stimulus check.
Ripping around.
I haven't ripped yet because it's starting to get a little bit warmer now. But we live on that trail now. So the Montour Trail is right there. So I'm going to be. Oh, nice. Yeah. It's literally right down the road.
Nice.
Could get here from here, but it'll be nice to be able to get out there, take the dog. I'm trying to buy one of them little trailers that you put like a kid in to throw the dog in so I could take her.
I got this little attachment for my bike. It's like a metal post that sticks out from the seat post, and it has like a bungee leash on it. So like the dog can run around next to you.
Oh, really? Wow. Is your dog pretty good at that?
Yeah. I take him on runs a lot, so he's in pretty deep. Now in the summer when it's good to ride a bike, he's a husky, so he doesn't like do well in the summer.
Yeah,
he can only go a few miles.
I always see your things on your stories where it's like, oh, these dogs are too cold, and he's just out there like laying in the snow, loving it.
It's like 1 degree, and he's like, I don't want to come inside.
I know.
Come drag me in.
Crazy. All right, ending segment that I do with all my guests is a segment called Desert Island Questions. So, Desert Island Questions is a segment where I give each guest 3 categories to take with them on a desert island to exhaust until they starve to death and die. No one's going to remember what you said last time. I'm sure you don't even remember what you said last time. So we're going to
trying to think of it when I was on my way out here.
I was trying to think of it too, just because I kind of came up with this, you got to kind of, fit everyone's settings to their voice. So what I'm going to do is just...
Is that why I read that?
That's what I'm going to do is like, I went back to look at like what you picked for your songs. And I was like, what could I think of that's kind of funny like that? So I'm going to try to play to every person that I have on here. I'm going to try to do some little PI work and see what will be funny, kind of get a laugh. And, it's kind of a good way to like, break the ice in the beginning. You know, what's better than singing All Star by Smash Mouth?
Right. Was that one of the songs I picked?
No.
I was like, boy, I don't know if I remember that.
That's funny. Okay. So 3 things to watch on a desert island. So you get to pick 3 things and, they have to be movies.
Movies?
I'll let you do TV shows if you want.
All right. I don't watch a lot of movies.
All right.
More of a TV guy. So what I've been into lately is, do you know the Life Below Zero franchise on National Geographic?
Oh, yeah.
I've watched way too much of that.
You ever watch Alone?
No.
I'm about
Is it on National Geographic? Or?
It's on, I don't know. I don't have cable, but I do have Prime. It's on Prime. There's some on Netflix.
All right.
It's the most addicting show of all time.
Is it like that same kind of...
These people get 10 items and then they take them and they just drop them in the middle of nowhere. And they only get 10 items. One of the items is their sleeping bag. So technically they get 9 items.
Yeah.
But these people are in the tundras, surviving off this. People are killing wolverines with rocks.
Oh,
it is wild.
My wife's going to hate that you just told me that. We're going to be watching that for the next 3 weeks.
It's honestly addicting. And my wife, she would refuse to go camping or anything like that unless there's a cabin. She has a toilet and a bath and a shower. She's good. Yeah. But she was obsessed with this show, and it is addicting. I think that there's like 6 or 7 seasons. We watched every single one of them. And I'll
go home and get into this.
It's good because it's not like fake. It's not like a Bear Grylls where it's like set up
5-star hotel at night.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's not even Survivor Man. Are
they just like regular people that they're just like throwing out there? Or?
These are regular people who are, they just love camping, they're minimalist, things like that, and some people...
They have some experience. They're not just like...
Exactly.
City guy just...
Yeah, not just a regular city guy. These are people that are like, some of them are like 21, 22-year-old kids who like want to, kind of transition to living off the grid.
Yeah.
But it's still real people. So you could like really find out, and they have a radio, so you could call and they'll fly you in. They fly a helicopter in to pick you up because you're literally in the middle of nowhere. People are walking around. It's one of the best shows of all time, but
I'll be watching that.
Yeah, that'll be good. The one on Netflix was a good one to get into, and then you could dive deeper into the ones on Prime.
Same show, just on both.
Yeah, they just have them everywhere. I don't know when this started to air, but we just came across it, and it was first episode. We were just, this is it. And then we watched, I think the Life Below Zero is one. It's them.
There's like 4 different Life Below Zeros.
Yeah, it's like I watched one with the guy's name was Chip Hailstorm.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
Chip.
Yeah, Chip. I love that guy. He is funny. We love that show, but this alone show is better than that. I'll tell you that. All right, second choice.
The other one I've been into a lot lately is Wicked Tuna. That's it.
Wicked Tuna.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've watched that one.
Guys tuna fishing in the Atlantic Ocean.
I love that.
Like all I do is catch fish. And
Did you love Deadliest Catch back then?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I love that show so much.
I've been watching that one a lot lately, but I'm not going to pick that one.
Yeah, that's fine.
I think this Wicked Tuna show is better. I mean, I like the guys on it. It's insane. They're catching like 100-inch fish.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, the same thing happens every episode. The rod tip bends over. They fight this fish for like 3 hours, bring it in.
And it's still every time you're like, damn, that's awesome. Yeah, every time. Do you ever watch Meat Eater?
That was going to be my third one.
Steve Ranella, what an awesome guy. Yeah. What a job to just like, live your life as a hunter and just get paid all this money to do that.
And like most hunting shows out there like suck.
Yeah.
It's just like
generic feeling.
Right. But like he does a really good job of the like purpose and like conservation behind it, and like
and educating people along the way.
Right. Yeah. The education of it is huge for sure.
A lot of the other hunting shows remind me of like them old fishing shows where it's like, well, we got this jig and like there's no like
we're set up here on the corn.
Yeah. It's like, there's no education of it at all, but it's cool to watch him because like, you know, the first time I watched him, he didn't get anything that time. And he was like, that's just the way it is sometimes. And that's what I respect about it. You know, not every time you're going to go out there and shoot the biggest bull that you could get. But
most of those hunting shows are just hunting on farms.
Absolutely.
Right?
He's a wild animal, though.
He does all public land hunts, all conservation. He's not out there to shoot the biggest possible. I mean, he's not like shooting like the little guy.
Yeah, but he does it for the right reasons.
Right.
You know, he's not just out there just to get it for a TV show. He does it for the right reasons, and he makes a great show out of the accessibility that he has.
Yeah.
He is wild though. Like he killed something, and he was like, I've seen this on multiple episodes. He was like, I love eating the fat behind the eyes. And he
does some weird stuff.
He was like, it tastes like raw dough. And I'm just like, oh my God.
That's too much.
I ain't never eaten that fat behind an eyeball. No. Never in my life.
I'm never pulling the eye out. Like I'm not ever going to find it. Like I'm good with like your meat.
Yeah.
That's
meat.
good.
I'll eat some deer meat. That's fine.
Yeah.
All right. So, do you read it all?
Not as much as I should.
Not as much as you should? Okay.
Like, I don't know the last time I read a full book.
I want you to give me your 3 favorite places to eat in the city.
Probably the one we go to the most, it's right down the road from us, called 80 Acres in Plum.
80 Acres?
Yeah.
I've never
It's all
heard
like
of
locally sourced food. It's super good. Right in Plum, right off of 286.
80 Acres.
Yeah, it's good.
I'm going to have to ask Antoinette about that.
Oh, yeah, she'd probably know about it.
Yeah. Has it been there for a while?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. All right. What else?
Probably have to go with Streets. It's unreal how much, like, everything he makes is incredible.
100%.
Like, so many different styles of food, and they're all good.
I had someone message me a couple months ago, and they were like, you know, I listen to the podcast, and I hear about you, like, talking about it all the time. And they were like, I thought you just were gassing it up because, you know, that's your buddy.
Yeah.
They were like, it's unreal. They were like, the wings actually were the best we've ever had.
Oh, man, his wings.
They're right off the bone.
His food truck last summer was out near us at one point.
Yeah.
And it was like we were at home. We were like, we're just going to go get wings and let's come back. It was like, we weren't going anywhere, wherever his food truck was, we're just going to get wings.
I know. And it's,
good.
I mean, you can't get, I mean,
worth the drive.
You can't beat them at all.
Yeah.
All right.
That's 2. But I have to give it Minio's Pizza.
Minio's Pizza?
Oh, man.
There you go.
That's my favorite pizza in the city.
Cut in a carton.
Yeah.
Can't beat it. Man, Dave Portnoy, such a wild time. Did he ever correspond with you at all?
Not really. Like after it, I sent him a message on Instagram. I was like, hey, can we send you some shirts and stuff? He's like, yeah, here's my address.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
That was it though.
Did you ever see his unboxing videos?
Nah.
So this guy has like a penthouse apartment, and he was doing these like 4-hour long videos of him doing unboxings, and he gave out
4 hours.
Dude, there's multiple videos, probably 15 videos, but it's just, he gave out his address and people were sending him everything.
Oh, not unboxing like one thing.
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about like a literal room this bigger than this, filled with boxes, and he just had a big ass katana, and he would have it sitting on his table, and it would just be him standing in front of a computer and him opening things, looking at it, making fun of it, or saying he loves it, and just tossing it in the back pile and just opening more stuff.
Jeez.
And it was just like, God, it was overwhelming to see people sending him like crazy shit, like live animals, drugs. You know, he's opening boxes and there's like big ass like edibles and everything. And that dude he's a wild animal. Okay. So, those were good choices. 80 Acres, which I'm going to have to look up.
Yep.
Minio's Pizza, and obviously Streets on Carson.
Yeah.
All right. Third category, 3 things to listen to on the desert island.
Like, are we talking like I can pick like an artist and like everything from that person, or
I usually ask people to pick, a CD, but I'll let you pick a greatest hits CD from them.
Okay. I wasn't necessarily thinking of like music. I was thinking of like everything Mikey and Bob have done.
I'll let you take that for sure.
It's all hilarious. And like it'd be like entertaining for the rest of eternity until I
mean, they've been doing it forever. So you have a crazy backlog. Do you listen to their talks about fish sandwiches?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't even know how they come up with this stuff.
I don't even know if they do. They're crazy.
Yeah, they don't.
That's insane.
And it's so outlandish and ridiculous that you could tell that it's not like made up at all. Right. This is real ridiculous. This is
how they are.
A real ridiculous like that's really what they're like.
Yeah.
Just best friends forever, and you could tell.
Oh yeah.
So I'll let you take that for sure. I'll give you the whole would it be called a compendium? That's usually a book.
No idea.
I'll give you a whole audio library of all their stuff.
All right. I can do that.
That's a good answer. I don't know if anyone's ever picked that. It's a good answer.
I don't know what else. Definitely big into comedy. I don't know who I would pick though.
Do you listen to podcasts, like comedy podcasts?
More like watching like stand-up stuff, or like a Netflix special or that kind of thing.
Who have you watched recently?
It's probably been a few months since we've watched one. I'm trying to think of what's that? The Machine. What's his name?
Bert Kreischer.
Oh man, that guy.
Funniest.
I was on the floor laughing.
I did a podcast with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, long time ago.
Is it still up somewhere?
No, that was probably 2012. I don't even know if I would even have it anymore. I don't know if I would want to listen to it anymore. But that dude is my favorite.
That dude's hilarious.
Absolutely hilarious. He really is. I actually have his. These are his free water slippers that I ordered. I ordered myself a pair and my wife a pair.
There you go.
Yeah, the Machine and the Mechanic. The Mechanic is the woman version with his wife.
Okay.
It has like a cartoonish version of his wife.
Yeah.
He's a wild one. Do you ever listen to any of his podcasts that he does?
No, I haven't.
Do you know who Tom Segura is?
Yeah.
They have one and it's just ridiculous.
There was some Netflix show that he did.
The Cabin.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
Did you watch that?
I don't think we got through all of it. I think I watched a few of them though.
It was a lot, but it was funny. First thing I saw was him getting a coffee enema.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, there you go. It's like, what do you expect?
Yeah, he did some weird stuff at that cabin.
Yeah, he did weird stuff for sure. It was funny though.
Third one. I don't know. Third one that I would listen to.
A greatest hit CD? What was like your shit in high school?
I was never like super into music.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I kind of just like I'll just flick the radio on and it's just like white noise to me almost. But I'm a big fan of like Eminem or Imagine Dragons.
Imagine Dragons was someone that you picked on the last one.
Did I?
Yeah. Eminem though too.
Yeah.
It's you can't hate. I mean, I'm not a big fan of any of his new stuff, but I loved
his older stuff.
I loved all of his older stuff. Aggressive, know. I think about it. I'm 30. You said you're 29. That probably like My Name has probably came out whenever I was maybe like 8.
Wow.
Probably something like that. And it's just wild to think that I could kind of think about how parents don't let kids, watch bad movies or listen to bad things, but you look at like South Park and stuff and you're just like, I don't know.
And like growing up playing Grand Theft Auto.
Grand Theft Auto. It's insane to think about. Pick up hookers in the car. It's ridiculous. You're just like, I can't believe this is on
12 years old.
Yeah, it's
Grand
like,
Theft Auto.
This is crazy.
It's
beating people with bats.
That like me and my wife were just sitting around talking about stuff the other day. And it was like things that seem like they were just a year or two ago. It was like 10 years ago. I'm like, I'm not that old, am I? Like
2011 was a blink ago.
Yeah.
But it's,
she's like a year and a half younger than me. So she always makes fun of me. She's like, oh, you're going to be almost 30. I'm like, funny. Good one.
Are you someone that doesn't look forward to like birthdays or anything? Do you get like weirded out about it?
Nah, I don't.
Don't bother me. I like it.
This is like the first one that I'm like, man, I'm like starting to get old.
Yeah. 30 years old.
It's like a weird feeling. I'm like, am I really?
I'm going to be 31 this year.
Yeah.
And I remember
there's times where I still feel like I'm like 24. I'm like, yeah, I'm like 24. I'm like the same age as the other people. And I'm like 5 years older than you.
I know. It's weird.
I'm like an old person now.
I remember turning 21 and I remember thinking like, I know what's going on. Like I have my shit straight. You know, like I'm 21. Like what could be better? And I'm just
What
like,
else do I need to know?
God, I'm an idiot back then. It's funny to think about.
Yeah.
Okay, so the third to last question is the death row meal. So for the death row meal, I want you to get specific on a appetizer, a main course, and a dessert.
Do they all have to be from the same place?
No, they could be from any places, and you could have multiple, whatever you'd like.
Appetizer is a tough one.
It is a tough one. I don't know why I just said that. I've never said that, but I kind of want to
I feel
know.
like you don't really like go to a restaurant for an appetizer.
I go to Streets for their arancini and their wings, but
I
that's
guess they're-
usually a meal.
Like whenever I go to Streets, we usually get like
1,000
5
appetizers.
starters.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
I actually, it was probably until the third time I was there that I ever actually had like a sandwich or like a main course.
I remember you telling me that.
Yeah.
I think that I think one day I
Were
think
his
one
wings an appetizer?
I don't know
where
if
they
I
are.
think they're under starters.
Okay.
I do think they're under
All right,
starters.
that's my appetizer.
All right, I'll give you the
there,
wings.
Main course. Have you ever heard of Franklin's Barbecue?
I have heard that, and I don't know why I've just heard that. Where's it at?
Austin, Texas.
Yeah, I don't know why I've just heard of that, but I feel like someone was just talking about it. Franklin's. What's the other one that down there? Gus's? Is Gus's Chicken or something from there? I don't know.
I don't know. I haven't heard of that one.
Franklin's Barbecue. Though you said your brother lives down there, right? Is that why
He
you
lives
had
in
it?
Dallas.
Yeah.
So since he's moved down there, like we've gotten like pretty into barbecue, and there's northern barbecue and there's southern barbecue.
Yeah.
And they're like we're not even really talking about the same food.
Yeah,
Like,
does not compare.
It's so much better, and Franklin's is the pinnacle.
Yeah.
It's unreal.
Wow.
Like brisket just melt in your mouth. Oh,
I love I just talked to Leone's not long ago. Or Leona's. Leone's is the pet store I go to all the time. Jeez.
close.
Yeah, Leona's ice cream sandwiches, but they said that there's a barbecue place. I think it's called Hangover Barbecue. It's in Weirton, I think it is.
I haven't heard
But
of that one.
that's been on my list to go after.
There's this place in Monroeville. It's the best barbecue I've had north of the Mason-Dixon line.
Oh.
I probably should have said this for one of my foods, but Big Rigs Barbecue.
Big Rigs. Where's that at?
Do you know where there's like a Rite Aid on 22 in Monroeville, like right across from the Chick-fil-A?
Yes.
So like kind of like down that side street off of 22.
Oh, wow. I would have never.
It's like it's only been there for a couple years, but it's like it's kind of like a hole in the wall. Like unless you know it's there, like you can miss it real easy.
Big Rigs.
Yeah.
With a name like that, you got to be able to.
Yeah.
You got to be able to carry it with the name like that. So I'm sure it's good.
Yes, that's the best I've had north of the Mason-Dixon line, but Franklin's Barbecue, hands down. Oh man,
All right.
out of this world.
What about a dessert? Are you a sweet guy?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
like I could put down a lot of cake and cookies.
Me too. And it's terrible.
Yeah, I could eat a half dozen cookies and not even realize.
My
it.
mother-in-law just came over yesterday and dropped off a care pack from Oakmont Bakery. She dropped off a loaf of everything bread, the Putchkis, and then
Punchkies.
what else did she bring? Butter stars, the brownie fudge cookies, and they make these things. I can't remember the name of them. They're like little dough balls filled with like almost like a Philly cheesesteak filling. Honestly, it's probably the best thing I've ever had from Oakmont Bakery.
Really?
I'm telling you. I can't remember what they're called. Forgive me. But they're these little pockets just filled with like steak and cheese and peppers.
Really?
A little bit spicy.
Oh man.
They are the best. But she brought this all over. I'm like, it's literally just me and Antoinette here. So what do you want me to do with all this? So I just took everything into work and like everyone's like, oh my God. Like
Everybody loved you.
everyone's
The
like,
hero.
we're all like lost souls in work. Like everyone's just like, oh, I need coffee. I'm hungry. You know, when's lunch? And then it's just like, I was like, I brought a bunch of shit in for everyone today. They were pumped.
That's awesome. Dessert though.
Yeah,
That's
dessert.
tough. I don't know if I should go like the Oakmonter route or should I go like I don't know. I'm just a huge fan of chocolate chip cookies, just in general.
Oh wow, chocolate chip cookies.
Like I could eat a whole mess of chocolate chip cookies.
Are you a fan of the? I like a chocolate chunk cookie.
You know what I actually just recently had? Have you heard of Nancy B's cookies?
Nancy B's.
Yeah, they're in the like Homestead.
Grandma B's?
Yeah, Nancy B's.
No, I never heard of that.
They're unreal.
Nancy B's. That's a bakery?
Yeah,
Oh wow. I'm gonna have to look it up.
Like one cookie, it feels like it weighs like a half a pound. They're
Wow.
huge. I mean, they're like not that anybody can see this listening, but they're like that big.
I love a cookie.
And they're, man.
All right.
So it's I would say either those, or we have a family friend that her chocolate chip cookies are out of this world. So
really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So plate of chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah.
A nice plethora of chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah.
A $10 word.
A dozen of them. I could just.
All right. Well, so the next second to last question is so we usually do the Turner's Crate. So the Turner's Crate, I have since pulled back on because, just the idea of people reaching in, and I don't know. Plus, I've been doing single ones. So what I've been doing is focusing this to a different question. Okay. So instead of the Turner's Crate, we do the Turner's Ultimate Choice. And that is, if you are getting ready for a road trip and you go to a gas station, you only get to pick one snack. One snack. You either get to pick sweet or savory, not two, just one single item.
Oh, man.
I feel like it's one of the most revealing questions of anything you could ask on here. Some people have it right then and there, and some people are like, oh, my God, what would it be?
That's tough. I mean, there's three right off the bat that come to my head.
What are the three?
The Hostess cupcakes. And I feel like those are just that's like a road trip snack.
Yeah.
And then also like a bag of goldfish or like the Ritz Bits cheese.
Goldfish. It's probably been I don't even know the last time I had a goldfish.
Oh, I could eat a lot of goldfish too.
I usually go for Cheez-Its.
Yeah. I feel like I got to go with goldfish.
That's your go-to?
There's a good amount in there. Like two Hostess cupcakes is
boom.
Right, they're gone.
Gone.
Yeah.
Especially if you have a nice chocolate milk with it.
Right.
Down.
Just choke them down.
So
yeah,
goldfish.
I'm going to go with goldfish.
Just a plain old?
Yeah, classic.
I remember liking pizza goldfish back in the day, but it's been a long time since I had some goldfish.
Yeah.
I have to try them out. I remember recently, probably 4 or 5 years ago, I bought goldfish, and I think it was the only time we've had them in here. And then there was a recall on them, and then I was like, "See, this meant to be." And I remember getting rid of them right there. Never bought them again. Okay, that's a good choice then. Some goldfish. I don't know if anyone's ever picked that on here. Okay, so
I'm a big fan of the classics, and I like pepperoni pizza. Like chocolate chip cookies.
That's all right.
I'm like a classics guy.
Can't beat that. Little chocolate milk, you can't beat it. Okay, so the last question that I ask everyone is, if you could have a conversation with anyone alive or dead, who would it be and why?
I forgot about this question.
Yeah, I know. It's a heavy one.
Yeah.
Ben from Yoli's was up. He was beside himself. He's so indecisive, and he's like, "Oh my God."
I should have known it was coming. It's not like I haven't listened or been on this. I should have known.
That's all right.
Thought about it.
People that have been on here 3 times, still have not.
Do you ask Antoinette this question every time?
Antoinette refuses to answer any desert island questions.
None of them.
Never. Oh. The first time she was on, it had to be episode maybe 30 or 40 or something. And I asked her, and she was so frustrated. It caused a fight between us because I was like, I've been doing this for a year almost. You don't even understand. It's you don't even know what to expect on here. Yeah. It's you've listened to all of them. How do you not know that I'm going to ask you these? Yeah. But she refused. I don't even ask her anymore because I know it's just going to cause drama. Yeah. She don't like being put on the spot like that. She's like, I don't know. And I'm just like, you just got to come up with something. I don't know. I don't know.
It's weird. I tend to just I don't care about famous people. I don't know. I just have no real interest in talking to anybody famous for the most part. So that rules out a lot of people that you'd usually think about. I don't know.
Yeah, that's understandable.
I just don't understand the I don't know, fangirling over people.
Yeah.
They're a regular person. They put their pants on the same way as everybody else, one leg at a time. So
I feel like there's only few people that I would fangirl over, and I was too nervous to fangirl over Joe Rogan whenever I met him.
Yeah.
I mean, my biggest fangirl was probably whenever I met Bert Kreischer. I mean, that was in the thick of podcasting just starting.
Yeah.
And that was my fangirl moment, I think.
And I'm really bad at small talk.
Yeah.
like I don't know these people. So like, what am I going to be like? Like, what do you like? I don't know. Like,
Yeah, you don't know what to say.
Like, I got nothing for you.
That makes sense.
Like, you don't want to talk to me. So what's the?
Yeah, it's like they're just. It's just like they're there just just to appease you for a second.
I mean, I like watching stuff that like famous people are in, but like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I tend to not even really like watching TV shows or like stand up with people that I like. I just like them on podcasts because I feel like that's the most realistic, vision of them that you get.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I'll throw out my great grandfather. I never met him. He passed away like a few years before I was born. So I don't know.
That's a good answer. That's a good answer.
That feels terrible. Like I'm just like, I don't know. I mean, I've heard a lot about him. Like he started our business. But yeah, I don't know. I've never met him. It's kind of weird. Like me and my cousin, like all my cousins, or most of my cousins, I should say, are like the first generation that didn't know him.
Yeah.
So there's kind of like just that disconnect, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense. That would be interesting because you always hear about like my dad's grandfather on his mother's side. I always heard how he was like such an awesome person, and he passed away before I was born. But like, I would love to, just to talk to someone like that. Even my grandfather who passed away whenever I was like 15, just to be able to talk to him as an adult and like kind of, especially for you, it's like the guy who started the brand and you're like, you got both feet in it. Your life is in it, how you're managing it. Like it would be cool to be able to compare and just kind of like, show him what you've carried
meet
on.
The person and like hear firsthand his vision and like the things that were important to him. And like, like I've heard a lot of them again, like from my grandparents or from like my dad and his generation, but to hear that kind of stuff like firsthand.
Yeah, that would be a different level.
Put in a different weight, different level, like you're saying.
I agree with that. That's a good answer. I'll allow it. I usually never allow people to pick loved ones, but that's a good answer. I feel like it's very, very appropriate. It fits. It's the originator of the brand, and like, you guys are working hard to keep it going. And a dairy that's been going about to be 91 years.
Yep.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Wait till we get the 100, right?
Right.
That's
going to be here in a blink of an eye.
I know. Every day it seems going quicker. It's like our ratio just gets smaller and smaller.
Right. I mean, you hear all the, like our parents are like, it goes faster and faster every day. And I'm like,
well, think about it like this.
Blinked and my son's 8 months old now. And
think about it like this. When we're 1 to 10, that's a year is a 10th of our life. So that's so crazy. But now a year is a 30th of our life. That's so small compared to, what that is. And it's just going to keep getting smaller and smaller.
It is interesting when, again, like that perspective of like when you're in high school, like the things that are so important to
Absolutely.
You. And it's like I'm 29. I'm like, why did I care about all this stuff?
Yeah.
Even into like college and like after college, it's like this stuff's not important.
Now, do you find it more refreshing, nowadays? Because that's how I find it. Like I'm almost like embarrassed. I'm almost embarrassed of the way that my mind thought about things whenever I was younger like that. Like, just the way I dressed or the things I said on Facebook or, just dumb things.
Facebook memories. Oh, God.
It kills me every morning. It's that right there is a definitive answer if I'm going to have a good day or bad day.
Yeah.
It's like, did I say anything dumb 8 years ago on Facebook?
Right.
Just like song lyrics and shit like that. But it's like, I almost like, it makes me so much more proud now of who I became from who I was.
Yeah.
And I feel like some people could, feel negatively about that. But, I think it's a positive thing.
Yeah. And even like the things that like you thought were way more important back then and like you see how they're not now. But like all of those experiences and things still led you to the person that you are now. Even
100%.
If like, why did I care about prom that much when I was a senior in high school? It's like, man, that that was a blip on the radar. It's like,
my girlfriend went with another guy to prom.
oh man, Whew,
The guy texted me and said, "Hey, can I take your girlfriend to prom?" And I was like, "No, you can't take her to prom. She's going to go with me." She was like, "Oh, I'm going to go with him." And I was like, "Oh, there we go."
Guess that ended that.
That was my luck. That was my luck at high school. But yeah, full circle, I'm just proud of where I am today. I'm happy with where I am today. You have a great family. We seem to be doing well. Yeah. And I'm thankful for that, because there's so many other people that are, in way harder positions than we are. Yeah. And I don't know, we just got to be fortunate for that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So give everyone the lowdown on where they could find everything, where they could follow you, where all this could be, where everything could be bought.
Yeah, so you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Turner's PGH. We're on the TikTok now at Fueled by Turners. And if you're still on Facebook, you can find us there at Turner Dairy Farms. But our products are available. A lot of different regional Giant Eagles, Shop and Saves, all the Speedways, 7-Eleven, Kogos, Rite Aids are the big ones, but just about every convenience store on the corner you can find us at.
What was your idea about jumping into TikTok? I see all these businesses now jumping into TikTok.
Yeah.
Is that like an idea that you're like, oh, I got to keep up with the Joneses almost, and like kind of, get in what everyone else is doing? Or was that like something that like, from your outlook of it all?
Yeah. So, definitely a lot of people are going there.
Yeah.
And especially my personal opinion of Facebook is like I personally hate Facebook.
Yeah.
Like I just can't stand it.
Yeah.
People are definitely moving from Facebook to Instagram to Twitter. But then mostly the younger generation is obviously going to TikTok.
Yeah.
And for a business, you need to continually reach the younger generation so that as they grow up and as they're making buying decisions, that your product and brand is front and center.
That makes sense. So, that's a good way to look at it.
It's kind of also just like fun content. It's nothing like
I finally
super
folded.
serious. You get one?
I mainly got it just so I could have the handle. I'll call you right back.
Yeah.
Just in case I wanted to dive into it. But
right.
I might just use it for a dog page and just post funny videos of my dog.
Yeah.
I got a funny one of her howling right before this. First time she ever howled, and I was just like blowing my mind. But I might just turn that into that.
Yeah.
But yeah. So
that's kind of the idea, and just to again, kind of like the collaboration to co-brands, just getting the brand in a different light and in front of a different audience.
Yeah. Well,
like TikTok's here to stay. Whether you hate it
or not,
it's here to stay.
It's crazy. I was going to say, like, no matter what, it's you thought it would be like just something, just a quick thing. But it's like, it's crazy. I see so many people on there. I talked to Ryan Peters, that guy.
Yeah.
He is,
oh my goodness,
millions,
like 2 million followers,
millions on there. And like he tells me all the time, he's like, dude, you got to get on TikTok. You got to get on TikTok. He's been telling me for months. Yeah. And I was like, I don't know what I would post on there, dude. And he was like, anything you want. Yeah. And I look at him, I look at his stuff the other day. He got 2 million. I'm just like, that is insane.
It is insane.
Insane. People love to watch it.
People wouldn't, like, brands wouldn't be putting the time and money into it that they are.
If it didn't,
especially like sports.
Yeah.
Like, oh my goodness.
If it didn't work, I saw the other day he made a green colored pasta or blue colored pasta, and he had 3 NFL teams commenting.
Oh, he's in with the NFL.
Yeah, yeah.
It's crazy.
One of them was like Carolina. They were like, that's ours. And the other one was like Detroit Lions. They were like, no, that's our pasta. And I'm just like, what am I seeing? Like, I talk to this guy all the time. I'm like, what am I seeing? Like, this is a TikTok famous guy. Yep. And it's just wild to see it progress over the times.
It's like, it feels like it's exploding.
Yeah.
You might as well jump on the wave.
I guess. I'll do a Turner's one for the first one.
Yeah.
Maybe we
should have been here TikToking this whole time we were recording.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if anybody'd watch it or not.
Who knows?
I'm still trying to figure out the TikTok thing.
Me too. Me too, because it's super overwhelming. I texted him and I said, dude, I have no idea what to do. And he was like, oh, you should get on Clubhouse too. And I'm just like, I can't even I don't even know what TikTok is before I could even jumping clubhouse.
Right.
But Steve, I appreciate you coming, taking the long trip over. I think this was a fantastic episode.
Yeah, it was awesome. I appreciate you having me.
Year and almost 2 years later, around there? Yeah, almost 2 years later. 2 years in
Year
June.
and a half, something like that, yeah.
But
yeah, I feel bad. I was like putting you off for like
No.
6 months because of all this stuff.
You should not feel bad because we didn't know how crazy it was going to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And with the baby, we just weren't.
I get it completely.
Not trying to take chances and all that, but
There's no apology necessary for that. I appreciate that we made it happen. I'm glad we made it happen. I'm glad we waited because now we got this, I got a new setup. We got these, these weird sound effects on here and everything now that we could, I plan on diving pretty deep into this and getting some cool stuff.
It's awesome.
In hindsight, I wish I would have added Dave Portnoy's review of Turner's Tea to this sample pad.
Yeah.
Because that would have been a good one. But he said
good
some
fucking iced tea.
Yeah, that's what he said. Some good fucking iced tea.
9-2.
What a guy. Well, I appreciate it again. As everyone knows, you can follow us both on Instagram at I'll Call You Right Back, at Turner's PGH. We got all kinds of good stuff coming. Do me a favor, if you could. If you like the podcast, please rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast. That's the only thing I ask you to do. It is a big help for me, and I appreciate it very much. I'll see you next week. I'll call you right back.